They dragged her through the dust, bruised, bloody, wrists tied in iron and rage in her eyes. Clara Whitmore had been many things. Daughter of a preacher, schoolteacher, healer. But now the townsfolk of Redding Ridge called her traitor, said she'd harbored runaways, that she'd treated a wounded native child with her own hands instead of turning him in. And now they were going to hang her for it. The gallows loomed at the edge of town, a crooked wooden frame swaying in the wind like death's welcoming arms. Sheriff Coleman didn't even wait for a trial. Justice quick and proper, he spat. Let God sort her. That's when he appeared, on horseback, like a thundercloud in buckskin. Tova, they called him, or winds like war in his own tongue. A Comanche, painted warrior, feared, hated. Whispers said he'd taken scalps during the raids, though no one could ever prove it. He rode into the town square with the silence of a coming storm, dark hair braided with feathers, bow slung across his back. His stallion stamped and snorted, as if it too burned with fury. Let her go, he said, voice cold and even. The townspeople reached for their rifles. The sheriff narrowed his eyes. She's a criminal. Tova dismounted. No, she is kind. She saved my nephew's life. Clara's head jerked up. Her eyes widened. Tova? He stepped toward her. I owe you blood. And freedom. Sheriff Coleman laughed. You think we'll just hand her over because you say so? No, Tova said. I know you won't. The first shot cracked through the air, but Tova was faster. A blur of motion. He knocked the rifle from the deputy's hand with an arrow before drawing his blade. Chaos erupted. Dust, screams, gunfire. Tova fought like a man possessed, not to kill, but to protect. He moved like a panther, disarming, disabling, dodging bullets. His blade never struck a heart, but limbs and rifles fell all the same. In the confusion, he slashed Clara's bonds. She collapsed into his arms. I thought they'd kill me, she gasped. His hand cupped her cheek gently. Not while I breathe. They rode hard through the desert night, past cacti, stone outcroppings, and the howls of distant wolves. He didn't speak much, but his arm never left her waist. Clara clung to him, half from fear, half from something else she didn't yet understand. At dawn, they reached a hidden canyon, lush with spring water and thick grass. This place is safe, he said, lifting her gently from a horse. They don't know it. She looked around, eyes wide. It's beautiful. It is called Natoka, where broken things are made whole. Days passed. Clara's bruises healed. So did her spirit. Tova taught her to start fires with flint, to find cactus fruit, to speak a few words in Comanche. She taught him how to read English, sounding out words by the stream. He laughed at her accent when she tried to mimic his language. She called him teacher. He called her wise lips. At night, they sat by the fire. She rested against him, and for the first time in her life, she felt safe. You're not what they said you were, she told him one evening. He looked up, moonlight in his eyes. Savage. She nodded. They lied. He turned to her, his gaze soft. They fear what they don't understand. I don't fear you. He smiled then, just a little. You're the first. She reached up, brushed his cheek with her fingers. That's because I see you, not what they painted you to be. He took her hand in his. Rough palms, warm grip. And what do you see, Clara? She hesitated, then whispered, My sweetie. The moment broke him. Not the battles, not the hatred, not even the war, but that one word. No one had ever spoken to him like that. Not in his tongue, not in theirs, not with affection, not with truth. He pulled her into his arms, pressed his forehead to hers, and for the first time in years he wept. Their happiness didn't last forever, but it lasted enough Word reached the nearby tribes of his act, of Tova, feared warrior, rescuing a white woman from the hangman's noose. Some call him a fool, others a bridge between worlds. Eventually, even the law caught up, but they didn't find her alone. They found them together, standing side by side in the canyon, weapons lowered. "We'll go," Clara said, "if you let him be." The sheriff, different now, younger, with more sense than hate, nodded. "If that's the deal." She turned to Tova. "I won't let you rot in the shadows. I lived in shadow until you came." They kissed beneath the wide blue sky, one last time. Years later, people still whispered of the white Gallows woman and the Comanche who saved her. Some said they died in exile. Others said they became ghosts of the canyon. But the truth was simpler. They settled far west under new names. She ran a school. He taught hunting. They grew old. And each morning, when she brought him coffee, she'd kiss his forehead and say, "Good morning, my sweetie." And he'd smile, because no matter what the world called him, she called him home.